Well, hi there, my amazing artists. Welcome back to Art with me, Mrs. Knowles. We're going to be creating a weaving today. Let me show you my weaving. Cool, right? So weaving is a kind of textile art in which you take two sets of strings or threads and you interlock them together. So you can also, this is an example of a weaving. A basket would be another example of a weaving. There's lots of different kinds of fabrics that are woven by hand or in a factory sometimes. So you see weaving all around you. So let's go ahead and start our weaving. Okay, so you can see my weaving a little bit more up close now. You can see that I have a pattern. So I did two different color stripes and then some fringe, the two colors, fringe, so I went all the way down with the same pattern. This fringe is actually something called raya, and I'm going to show you how to do this step if you want to add some fringes to your weaving. And then also you can see that I added a little stick on the top and a string so that I can actually hang it on the wall. All right, so your first step, the first thing that you are going to need is a loom. This is called a loom. And it's just a piece of cardboard with some little notches cut out of it. Now, if you are a student in my class, I will be giving you one of these looms to use. If you are not in my class, but you're like, I don't have a loom, well, all you need is a piece of cardboard, a thicker piece, like you can see it has the little ridges inside. And so I just cut it to the size that I want. It's about 12 inches long. And then you can see I actually used a ruler and drew a line with my pencil right there along the edge on both sides. So after you've got that line, you're just gonna take your scissors and cut about 1/2 inch, and you're just gonna stop when you get to the line. Now you do want to make sure after you cut one side to count the number of lines that you just made, because you want to do an equal number on this side. So if I did 20 cuts on this side, I want to make sure I have 20 on this side. And then once you've cut it, you are ready and you have just the same thing as we have. So this is what we have in our classroom. There isn't a front or a back, but I'm going to give you a little piece of tape on here so that you can add your name. All right, so I put the tape on right in the middle. I'm just gonna write my name. It says Knowles. You don't have to use a Sharpie, you can use anything. And now this is going to be the back. So the side with my name on it is going to be the back of my loom. So here is the front. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is we're going to add the warp thread onto our loom. So you're just going to choose a color that you want to use. I'm just going to use white. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the warp thread to the loom, and it's really important that you follow these instructions so you know what to do. Okay, so for the first step, I'm going to find the end of my yarn. And right now I'm leaving the yarn on this ball because I don't quite know how much yarn I'm going to need yet. So I'm not cutting it off. I'm going to get a piece of tape. And I'm going to go to the very last little notch here. I'm going to put that through. And then I'm going to add a piece of tape just to hold it and to keep it steady. Okay, and we already know that this is the back, right? So the back is gonna have all the tape on it, and the front is just gonna have the threads. So I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna go from this side all the way to the very first notch in the other side, flip it back, come back through, I'm going to the second notch, and then flip it, second notch on the other side. So you just keep going, and you've got to make sure that you fill each of these little spaces. If you end up skipping one, it's going to leave a hole in your weaving. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. All right, so here's the front, and you can see all my lines are nice and straight, and I filled in each of those notches. So I'm going to turn it over to the back. And on the back, it's actually going to look kind of diagonal, but that's fine because it's the back. All right, I'm just going to cut that last piece, put my yarn to the side, and then just like when I did to the beginning, I'm gonna tape this piece down and make sure that all the tape is on the back, right? Okay, tape that down. There we go. So now that is my warp thread. So we're going to use another thread now to be going this way, back and forth on our weaving. So let's get that part ready.